Good morning, everyone. Welcome you all for online spoken faculty development program on Advanced Communication Laboratory. Today we'll discuss about the experiment number 8, the session 1, OFDM signal transmission and reception using MATLAB. First we'll discuss about the theory of the OFDM signal transmission and reception. Then we'll discuss about the coding with the MATLAB in a separate file. So that what is OFDM? So from the scratch, we'll discuss about the basics of the OFDM for some moments. The OFDM stands for orthogonal frequency division multiplexing. It is a modulation technique for the transmission of a large amount of digital data over a radio signal. How the OFDM differs from other multiplexing techniques? Orthogonality. The orthogonality is nothing but it's a part of the OFDM name, which indicates that there is a precise mathematical relationship between the frequencies of the carriers in the system. And the OFDM modulation scheme offers many advantages for the broadband wireless transport. It supports a very high data rates. This orthogonality simplifies the recovery of n number of data streams. The number of subcarriers, orthogonal subcarriers, is equal to the number of inter-carrier interferences. When n number of subcarriers are present, there is n number of inter-carrier interference will be present. So, when we consider about the interference, there are many interferences that we have to face in the wireless communication. An example is co-channel interference, adjacent channel interference, electromagnetic interference, then inter-carrier interference. All those interferences will be coming into the picture. Regarding the time domain orthogonality, each and every subcarrier has an integer number of cycles within the time limit of this frame T OFDM. Satisfies a precise mathematical definition of orthogonality for complex exponential functions over the interval of the time. When we talk about the frequency domain orthogonality, some FDM schemes achieve orthogonality by zero spectral overlap. There is no overlap between the individual subcarriers, but hence it will become a bandwidth inefficient naturally. If it overlaps, when the OFDM system allows these carriers overlap, the spectra will get overlap with each and every subcarrier in a spectrum and having a Nyquist, satisfying the Nyquist zero ISI pulse shape. This will become bandwidth efficient. You see about the OFDM signal time and the frequency domain. In the time domain, there are two OFDM subcarriers are present in the time domain diagram, and its corresponding frequency domain subcarriers is shown in the diagram. How it is specified in the frequency domain. That is what's shown here. And regarding the practical signal spectra, each and every single carrier signals require filtering for the spectral containment. To obtain the single carrier signals, it has to should be filtered for a spectral containment. The signal has a narrow roll-off factor in the regions and which requires a long filters. But for the OFDM spectra, it have naturally the steep sides. You see the second diagram, naturally steep sides, especially for the large number of subcarriers. The PAPR is often higher. PAPR is nothing but a peak to average power ratio. It is normally higher, which may result in the spectral regrowth. In the diagram, the blue trace is an unfiltered OFDM signal which carries a 216 subcarriers. The red includes the effects of a nonlinear power amplifier. Regarding the multicarrier modulation, so we can divide the broadband channel into number of narrowband subchannels. When we do like this, it will experience there is no ISI, there is no inter symbol interference in the subchannels. if a constant gain in every subchannel and if it experiences ideal sampling, we can divide number of broadband into a narrowband subchannels. But in orthogonal frequency division multiplexing, it depends on the fast Fourier transform. And this is standardized for all the standards DAB, DVB, and the 802.11a, and the wireless, the LAN, Hyper LAN 2, 802.16a. And this can be considered for the fourth generation mobile communication also, in the LTE also. The diagram shows the Hyperland standard with the subchannels of 312 kHz wired, that's 802.11a. The diagram specifies the channel width and also the carrier, and each and every channel there is a carrier and there is a subchannel is mentioned. The basic OFDM system involves to split a high symbol rate data stream into n number of lower data streams. So it can transmit n number of lower data streams using the subcarriers, n number of subcarriers. Nothing but the FDM and multi-carrier modulation. All are orthogonal. So the diagram specifies it's a concept of the OFDM block. So high rate complex symbol stream is passed through the serial to parallel converter, and it is passed through the filter coefficients, it's IFT, and the signal is an OFDM signal. It is a baseband OFDM signal, S of t can be represented. When we see as a block diagram, this OFDM modulation as a block diagram, see the signal S of t is a OFDM modulated signal. S of t is nothing but symbol generator D of k is multiplied by the H of t. What is H of t is the functions that we are going to generate with the help of the serial parallel adder and passing through the coefficient scaling terms and the base functions. So if it is a bandpass modulated signal, we can pass through this Hk of t, and the S of t is summation of dk of t, Hk of t. So the symbol generated passed through the serial parallel converter, then it is added. So the output is nothing but the S of t, that is the OFDM modulated signal. When we consider as a OFDM demodulation, the OFDM signal transmitter has to pass through the channel. That channel may be an additive white Gaussian noise channel or any multipath fading channel. The combined, this S of t signal, original signal, OFDM signal is combined with the noise signal, and the output will get passed through the OFDM demodulator. So the demodulator, the diagram, it shows that S of t may be the received signal from the channel, and it has to pass through the demodulation block, then it has to convert through and parallel to serial adder. This demodulation is nothing but the FFT in the in the modulator passing through the IFT, then in the demodulator passing through FFT, and the output is given to the symbol detector to identify which is the symbol which is transmitted and what will be the bit error rate. So when we talk about the channel interference, that is what the very important thing that we have to consider in the OFDM. Adjacent symbol interference and adjacent channel interference also present. The adjacent, regarding the adjacent symbol interference, ASI, the diagram specifies that H of t is a channel response, X of t is the input signal transmitted, and it is passed to the channel, and the output is nothing but Y of t. And the symbol considered as an yellow color block is the symbol considered, and it has to pass to the channel. Output is nothing but the distorted symbol, Y of t. And in the adjacent symbols, there is no God interval is specified here. Hence, what will happen is the channel will affect the signal symbol as a to bring there is a distorted symbol at the receiving side. When the God interval is inserted, you see the diagram, it will suppress the ASI. The God interval is specified in the diagram. Hence, the channel impairments will not affect the transmission of the symbol. So there is an amount of time is left for the God interval. Hence, the response of the channel will not affect the symbol which is transmitted. So the bit error rate will be less. So the cyclic prefix that is nothing but the God interval. Regarding the God interval, so the delay spread causes the ISI and intercarrier interference. So the nonlinear phase implies a different subcarrier experience, different delay. So hence an adding and God interval between the WebDM symbol mitigates this problem. So to avoid this problem, we have to include the God interval, that is nothing but the cyclic prefix. So zero valued God interval will eliminate both ISI and ICI, inter-symbol interference and inter-carrier interference also. In the diagram, it is mentioned that there are two symbols. The symbol 1 has its duration. So the God interval will eliminate the problem of overlapping into the symbol 2. So it will not cause any noise on the symbol 2. So there is a cyclic extension that removes the ISI and also ICI, the signal. This is how it is implemented. Cyclic prefix is added in the God interval to suppress the ACI in the signal. So in the output diagram, the brown color shows that there is a distortion that is eliminated by the cyclic prefix. In the same period time CP will eliminate the distortion, that is channel impairment in the received signal. So how this affects the spectral spacing, how it is matching with the sync width, right? The spectrum width, how it is matching. The data length defines the sync width and the spectrum spacing. So the high side lobes has to be eliminated. So over a period of the spectrum, it is eliminated, and it can be extended data length also. It reduces the sync width, and the spectral spacing is preserved in the output of the signal. And how this cyclic prefix will not affect the system, that we can see with the help of the signal constellation diagram only. So the first diagram shows that it is without the cyclic prefix, how it will get affected, how its overlaid constellation will look like. But the second diagram implies that with the cyclic prefix, the constellation will be very clear, right? It is not overlaid. So without the cyclic prefix and with the cyclic prefix is mentioned here. So when we talk about the examples of the OFDM signal, there is an example, one of the example, IEEE 802.11a and G, that is wireless LAN. In the diagram specifies that is 48 data subcarriers and 4 pilot subcarriers. So totally there are 52 subcarriers are present. There is null carrier at the center. Hence, there is a data carrier is centered a subchannel carrying a low bit rate signal. So the bit rate is nothing but no inter-symbol interference. It's a low bit rate. One example. And another example is 802.16a, that is WiMAX application. That is only 200 of 256 subcarriers are used. 192 data subcarriers plus 8 pilot subcarriers are present, and there are 56 nulls, that is the center carrier is present, and 28 low frequency and the 27 is high frequency God carriers. So the totally there are 256 subcarriers, only 200 is used. This is what the two examples. And when we talk about the usage of the OFDM is, we can use the OFDM technique in the wireless LAN, WiMAX, discrete multitone systems, DAB systems, digital audio broadcasting and video broadcasting also. The OFDM is spectral, it is efficient, but it is not a power efficient due to the linearity requirements of the power amplifier. So the power amplifier is very difficult to design. Normally we go for the non-linear power amplifier. So it is very difficult to design the power amplifier this frequency. And the OFDM is primarily, it's a modulation method. So the corresponding multiple access technique is OFDMA. So this is the block diagram. We can convert each and every block in a MATLAB code. So interlaced to the spacing, we have bit to symbol mapping. So first we have to generate a symbol, then it has to be converted as a decimal, and we have to generate a code for that. And we will apply generally 16 QAM for the modulation technique as the simplest one. Then it has to convert to the serial to parallel converter, pass through the IFT, and add the cyclic prefix for that, then pass through the channel. Then the opposite process has to be done for the OFDM demodulation system. FFT has to be applied, then parallel to the serial converter, you demodulate it, then interleave it, then you can decode with the help of the symbol detector. At last, we can find what is the symbol which is transmitted. Generally used subcarrier modulation in the 802.1a and G, what is the bit rate in the BPSK of 6 6, then QPSK, then 16 QAM. In the MATLAB code, you will see the 16 QAM digital constellation system. There are n data subcarriers or the subchannels carry the n data symbols in a subcarrier modulation encoding. So one symbol carries a 1-bit BPSK. If it is a 2-bit, we can consider as a 4-bit PSK, or 4-bit as a symbol bit as a 16 QAM, or n data symbols in parallel form one forms a one OFDM symbol. For each modulation method, there are several coding options for forward error correction control, and this will be taken into account that when the calculating user data rates shown in the previous slide, typical coding options, that is convolutional coding or 3x4 puncturing coding rates can be used. As a summary, we can say that it offers the following features: multipath propagation. It does not cause the intersymbol or intercarrier interference, ISI or ICI, if the God interval is sufficiently large and there is no frequency offset at the receiver. And the multipath fading, however, causes the frequency selectivity in the transmission bandwidth. Pilot signals are employed for the correcting the magnitude and phase of the receiver subcarriers at the pilot subcarrier frequencies. Some form of interpolation is necessary for equalization at other than the pilot carrier frequencies. Many pilot allocation of the schemes have been proposed in the literature that we'll see in the end. OFDM signal transmission is a the simplest coding with the help of the additive white Gaussian noise signal is shown. I'll explain the coding in the MATLAB experiment. The demonstration is a simple code. It is n number of bits to process is 256 is taken, and the random number of signals is generated. Binary data stream is generated as X, and signal constellation size is 16, and the k is bits size, that is k is equal to 4 when it is a log 2m, log base 2m is when the m is substituted, this k will be 4 bits per symbol, and we can generate with the help of that one binary to decimal. We can generate the X symbols, then convert into the bit symbols, then modulate with the help of the QAM modulation. Then 16 QAM is selected, useful symbol period is specified, and the God interval is specified, the total symbol duration is specified, and we can set carrier frequency is set, carrier spacing is set. Then the OFDM signal transmitted is considered as a bandpass modulated signal. S is the OFDM signal transmitted, and its corresponding spectrum it shows. Then it is passed through the additive white Gaussian noise channel. Then the noise C is observed as a received signal at the receiver. Then it is demodulated with the help of the FFT. Then the output will look like this is the OFDM signal transmitted, and this is the OFDM spectrum, and this is the received OFDM signal with noise, and this is the original message and recovered message. Bit error rate is only 0.35 is the bit error rate. We will discuss the coding in the MATLAB experiment. Thank you.